back to Let Us Thrive. If you're new here, my name's Emily, and today we are making pici. Pici is essentially like a hand-rolled Italian pasta, and I think it's the perfect quarantine food because it's fun to make. We don't have access to regular pasta right now. It doesn't require any special equipment, and you probably already have all the ingredients you need because there's 3 of them. This is a pasta that Cody and I learned to make in Italy on our honeymoon from like the cutest Italian couple. If I can, I'll like insert a clip of them somewhere. But it's super simple. I looked at her directions for it and it was basically mixed flour, salt, water, and oil. So let's just jump right into it. Okay, so to make the pasta, first we need to debling because like I said, we're not using very many tools here, so we're mixing all with our hands. We're gonna start with about 3 cups of all-purpose flour. You can mix in some semolina flour if you'd like. I have tried it with whole wheat. To be fair, it's just not as good. Okay, and then we're gonna mix in just a pinch of salt. Mix this all up with your fingers, and we're gonna create a small well in the center of it. That's where we're gonna pour in our oil and our water. So we're gonna add in about a tablespoon of olive oil and then about 1 cup of warm water. So once that's in there, we're gonna take 2 fingers, 2 floury fingers, and just pull little bits of the flour into the center at a time and stir gently. We're not trying to get it all wet at once, just gradually. And we're gonna mix this until it's all wet and it should form kind of a shaggy dough. We are using a like lukewarm water here. It just helps hydrate the flour a little bit more quickly. Okay, so if you didn't understand what I meant before when I said a shaggy dough, this is it. It looks shaggy. So I've kind of gotten to the point where my 2 fingers is no longer catching the extra dry flour. So I'm gonna start kneading and pushing it together a little bit. We may need to add a tiny bit more water to this. We'll kind of see as we go. A lot of this is by feel. Okay, so we've kind of picked up all the floury pieces. The flour is hydrated, but you can see it's obviously still kind of pieced together. So now I'm gonna take the bowl away and just knead it on a clean and dry surface for about 7 to 10 minutes. I'll show you the final product at the end. It should be quite silky smooth. Okay, so this is kind of what we're expecting our dough to look like at the end. As you can see, it's not perfectly smooth, but quite a bit different than when we started the kneading process. So now we're just gonna let it chill out for like 30 minutes, an hour. Just give the gluten some time to relax. It'll make it easier to roll out. Okay, so the dough's been just chilling for like, I don't know, 30 minutes to an hour. The point is just to let it rest. It'll make it easier to roll so that the gluten doesn't want to like bring it back to its smaller form. So we're just gonna take the dough on a clean, dry surface. And that's important because we are gonna roll on here a little bit, and if there's like flour or moisture on it, it won't roll as easily. So we're just gonna press it out. You could use a rolling pin for this if you have one, or like an old wine bottle or something. Completely not necessary. Into a little thing. I'm gonna go both ways. You can see the top of the dough is a little bit hard from sitting out for a while, but now that we're pushing it down, we're just going to cut it with a knife into like little strips like this. And we're gonna roll them out. So you can roll it directly on here, you can roll it in your hands if you like. These are meant to be quite imperfect. The imperfections in them are, one, what makes it so rustic and homemade, obviously, but also they will help hold on to the sauce so that you can get like little extra bits of sauce in all the nooks and crannies. So you can cut them kind of as you go like that, or just pre-cut a bunch of them out. If you have multiple people here, this is definitely time to get them to join in because it'll be a little bit laborious to do it all on your own. But we're just gonna roll them out as thick as you want. I would recommend maybe, I don't know, like a shoelace. I feel like might be in good representation. So anyways, let's get to rolling. So we're just rolling in the flat parts of our palms, not over our fingertips. Roll, 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 roll. Basically, you know, these aren't gonna like absorb water and swell in the same way that a dried pasta would. And so the thickness that you roll them to is pretty much the thickness that you're going to eat them as. So kind of be mindful of that. You don't want them to be too thick because then they'll take a long time to cook and they might not cook evenly. And like I said, you know, these are going to be imperfect. The ridges are going to be imperfect. But you do want them to be relatively uniform in size and shape just so that you don't have one that's way overcooked and one that's way undercooked. As you roll your pasta and you have it kind of at the length you want it, if you have excess counter space, feel free to just lay it out right here, but that could get a little bit messy. So your other option is to let them hang dry, and I'm actually just gonna use a hanger to do this. So I'm gonna put a little bit of flour on the hanger so that nothing sticks. Hang it probably just on a handle, a door handle. And we can just add to that as we go, and that way none of the noodles will stick together. I could be done if you want to compare nudes. You show me your nudes, I'll show you mine.
Ready? 5 seconds. 5. Let's do a couple touch up. 4, 3. I'm making it worse. 2, 1. Do I got the phone?
Well, we might not have started with the same.
What are you talking about?
No, but look, if you started here and here,
Get
circles.
the 2 middles,
Circles.
you punk! You're not here.
Circle!
Man. I smoked you. Look at my naughty end now.
Yeah, look at that. If we're talking about uniform size and shape, I got you.
Oh, look at this chunk of
pasta. We have the water at a roaring boil. We're adding a generous amount of salt here, like ocean water, I've been told. And then we're just gonna drop the pasta straight in. So our pasta is still on its hangers here. You can cook this right away, or it'll stay in the fridge for like 2-ish days. So we're just gonna drop it directly in. Tasting my noodles, they're pretty much there. So we're gonna turn our pasta into a cacio e pepe, and that is kind of like a traditional Italian pasta dish to make with this pici. And think like bougie mac and cheese. So basically I put about a cup of the water straight from here into the pan. And now I'm going to add like a tablespoon or so of butter and just let that melt off for a second. Then we're going to add, once it's melted, we're going to completely turn off the heat and add in the pasta. While we're waiting for that, we can add in some black pepper. So that's the pepe, and the cacio pepe is black pepper. If you follow me on Instagram, you know I'm a stickler for fresh cracked black pepper, but if you just have the regular stuff, no big deal, you can use that too. Okay. Look at our pasta, holy moly. Okay, I'm gonna drop it just straight into here. And you can use this obviously with whatever sauce you would like. But this is my preferred way to eat it. And so, depending on the person, this recipe, to be honest, Cody and I will eat all of this, but if you have a larger family and you're having like salads or something on the side, I think it could feed maybe up to 4 people. Okay, so now that it's all in here, I've taken this cheese. This is just like a Parmesan. I blended it up to get it in this fine grade. You could grate it by hand, but blending it is far easier. So we're just gonna add a handful of that at a time, and then toss it around in with this butter pasta water mixture. Let it incorporate, and then keep adding a little bit more at a time. And it's gonna create like a really silky, smooth sauce for this pasta. Right. We're pretty much there, and it is time to plate. All right, so here is the final product. We just served it on a plate, topped it with some extra cracked pepper and a little bit more Parmesan cheese. And I am so excited about this. If you're as excited as I am, make it, tag me on Instagram, let me know your feedback. I would love to hear it. But for now, I'm gonna go eat.